Hi all, Renee here. I am here today to show you the cards that I made. I have a whole stack here that I made using Kendra's card challenge number 16. Great card challenge. I'll have information down in the description box of how you can get more information on Kendra's card challenges. They're free and they're awesome. Today is also part of a team YouTube collaboration with my Stampin' Up team, Paper Divas. So I will have a link down below to a playlist so you can watch the other videos. And what we're doing is we're taking Christmas products and showing you how to use them, either showing you how to use them as they're designed or maybe twisting them and using them in a non-Christmas way. For me, I really enjoy sending Christmas cards, and I send about 150-ish every year. So I always have a need to make a bunch of Christmas cards. So I did Christmas cards exclusively with Kendra's Card Challenge. So I just want to show you real quickly the supplies I used. Now, I'm a big proponent, as you know, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, of using what you have. Now, with that said, I do have some new products from Stampin' Up and some products that maybe are a little older from Stampin' Up but are still available. So let me show you what I used, and then we'll do the fun part of looking at the cards. So one of the first things I used was I used this Stampin' Up frayed ribbon, and it's actually on the clearance right now. And this ribbon is so pretty. It's soft. It is flexible. I love the texture. So this is just in white. I also used some ribbon from, I think this is Hobby Lobby, like old ribbon. I don't even know if they carry it anymore. It's a white grosgrain with red stitching, and it is 5/8 inch wide, just in case you were looking for it. I bought so much of this ribbon on clearance one day. I don't even remember. I think I paid like 39 cents or something. It was after Christmas. And I've just been using it for years. I wrap packages with it. I use it on cards, everything. So that's what this is. Don't know if they still have it. Memento Tuxedo Black, which works great. I love Tuxedo Black for just about everything because you can use it with the water-based Stampin' Up markers. I also use it with alcohol-based markers. So there's that. I didn't have the real red from Stampin' Up, which is the color that coordinates with the papers that I chose, but I do have Candy Apple from Close to My Heart, and it was a really close alternative. So if you want to do exactly what I did, and you don't have real red, Candy Apple, or I'm sure there's some other reds out there, but those are the two ink colors that I used. So there's that. Speaking of the Stampin' Up markers, I used these, 7 Stampin' Up markers. So I used Pecan Pie, Early Espresso. This one is Lemon Lime Twist, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green. I used Garden Green, and I used Real Red. And I'll show you how I used them because I used them a lot of different ways in this project. So I will show you that when I get to those cards. I also used the white loose snowflakes from Stampin' Up. I love these. They were out of stock for a little bit, but I think they're back in stock now, but they're very popular. So I'll show you on the card that I used them on because it'll be easier to understand what they are. So I used that. I used some basic circle dies. I think these were Close to My Heart dies. I'm not 100% positive. I used this little die. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I tend to use this quite a bit. I have no idea where it came from. I don't know if it's Close to My Heart, some other company. I know it's not Stampin' Up. And then this was an old Close to My Heart die that came as a set for borders. And so I used that. But it's a very, very standard kind of a border die. So, you know, like I said, use what you got. I also used, from Stampin' Up, I used this stamp set, which is from this paper pumpkin. So it's from the October 2024 paper pumpkin. So I pulled this stamp set out to use it on these cards. So now that I've done using it on these cards, I'm going to put it back in my paper pumpkin so I can not wonder where it went. Then I also used Reindeer Fun. I am loving, excuse me. Oh my, I'm loving this stamp set. I also got the die set. So here are all the dies, and I use them quite a bit. So actually, give me just a moment, a little break. I'm going to take a drink. Okay, I am back. Hopefully, I won't choke up too much. Wonderful little allergies going on. But anyway, I use this quite a bit. I also used Unbounded Love, and what I used from Unbounded Love was a couple of the dies, mainly this die and I think this die. But when we get to it, I'll show you which dies I used. But I love the dies in this Unbounded Love set. I've used it quite a bit. I also used, this is an old Close to My Heart set that came in one of their card kits. So I used this particular stamp right here, the circular one. So I used that. I used an old Paper Studios die, or not die, I'm sorry, embossing folder. And I used this quite a bit, so I'll show you where I used that. I also used the brand new Stampin' Up! Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. It turned out so cute. I love this. I can't wait to use this again. My idea is to use it on some of the white core cardstock and then to sand it to bring out all of the beautiful plaid lines that you can see here. So I used that. Then the papers that I used, this is just a sample of one. It is from the Take a Bow, not Take a Bow, but Take a Bow papers from Stampin' Up. These are some brand new papers that are in the mini catalog. Absolutely love them. They're 6x6 papers, and there's a whole bunch of them. So those are my main papers that I used in my cards. Then I also pulled in from, I already forgot the name of this. Let me look. It is from the Reindeer Days 12 by 12 paper pack. And what I used in this is, you can see I cut out some areas. I used the dies from Reindeer Fun because some of the dies that are in this actually correspond like that. They correspond to some of the little reindeer that are on this paper. So isn't that cool? I love that Stampin' Up! Does that. Looks like they do it quite a bit. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. It made some of my cards, I think, really extra cute. So those are the papers that I used. It was just those two out of the set. So with that said, let's go ahead and look at each of the cards. So this is card number 1, and I love the way this came out. What I did differently on this card challenge that I haven't done on other card challenges is I went through and I made all of the basic cards exactly according to the sketches. Then when I was done, I went back and then I decorated. So that's where I just started pulling in stuff I already have, all kinds of little pieces and parts, and just started having fun and decorating. And to tell you the truth, I had more fun doing it that way than I've had making it any other way. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that again. It was really fun. So anyway, each of these are going to be almost exactly as the sketch shows, and then I just decorated them. So I did bring in some solid color cardstock, and I brought in Real Red, Granny Apple Green, Real Red. It's the colors. What I did, here, let me show you so it makes more sense. So what I did is this is the Take a Bow paper. And like I said, there's so much of it. I've used quite a bit, and you can see I have so much paper left still. I mean, I have all of this still left. But on this card, it shows you what the papers are that correspond. So Garden Green, that's one I couldn't remember, Granny Apple Green, and Real Red. So I pulled those colors in, and then I also used white cardstock. And then I'll show you where I did some other, let me put that away so I don't lose it, where I did some other types of papers. So for this one, I used the Reindeer Days dies, and these dies, I'm going to pull them in just so I can show you. They are so fun. It's these 3 dies, these 3 dies here to make the deer head, then the little bow right here, and then the wreath right there. Well, I have pretty much all of the a small selection, maybe two or three sheets maybe of each color of the cardstocks, but this was such a small area. I thought, I wonder if I can just cut it out of white and then use the Stampin' Up markers to color the paper, the colors that I wanted, and that's exactly what I did here. So this deer is a 3-piece. So this dark brown, it was white paper, and I colored it with early espresso. Then the middle section is white. I didn't color it at all. And then the top one, the top piece is pecan pie. Then the bow I did with real red, and the wreath I did with Granny Apple Green. Is it Granny Apple Green? I'm gonna learn these colors eventually. Garden green. So I used garden green for that. These background papers are Granny Apple Green, and then this background I did with that Paper Studio embossing folder to give it the little polka dots. So I love the way this came out. Really, really cute. So that's card number 1. Card number 2, I used the dies from this Reindeer Fun. There are, there's one of the bows, and there is, I need to find a better solution because I'm not sticking. These are the presents, and then there's 2 bows to go with them. And those I did the same way. I cut them out of white paper and then used real red and garden green for this, and real red and garden green for that one. And then I stamped it in tuxedo black, just on white cardstock. So I love the way this one came out. Really, really fun. So that's number 2. Number 3 was really fun. This is the one where I used one of the cutouts from this paper. And you can see how fun it all comes together. And then this I cut out with this die. So that's what that looks like. And this is actually, all of these pieces you see is just one pass of this. I just cut it into pieces and tucked it underneath. Now, something I did do that I probably wouldn't do the next time, or I think what would look better, is if I heat embossed in black the sentiment and its joyful thoughts to you this season. And that stamp came from the paper pumpkin. And then this Merry Christmas, let's see, is that from this one? No, that is also, I believe, probably shouldn't have put that away so I can tell you exactly where I got each of my stamps. Let's see, it's not from that one. Maybe it's from, excuse my arm. Okay, well, to tell you the truth, I cannot remember where this stamp came from. Was it from here? Not from here. Nope, nope. It's a mystery stamp. If I figure it out in editing, I'll put it on the screen. But anyway, this one I would have done it differently because the sentiment is very hard to read. So then here's the next one. And this one I used the Happy Holidays from the Paper Pumpkin stamp set. I used this cutout right here is from this die set for Unbounded Love. Then this little guy and this little girl and her baby is from this paper. I cut it out with the die from this die set. Then when I cut it out, I had this little tree left over. It was kind of just off to the side. It's this one right here, but it was kind of off to the side. And I thought, I bet that would look nice. Just put behind it, and sure enough, worked out great. And I put this one up on some little dimensionals that I had left over from another paper pumpkin. So use all your leftovers for sure, for sure. So let's get these out of the way. Then I did this one, and this one is from the Reindeer Fun stamp set. This little guy I stamped from that stamp set and then used the die to cut it out and then colored it with my Stampin' Up markers. The only addition was I used Daffodil Delight to do the little tops and then to do the little sections. And then I used 3 different colors of green for the bells. I think it would look really cute if you had some of the enamel accents or maybe some stickles or something like that and made those little sparkles. I think that would be so much fun. So there's that one. And that's that candy apple red, which I think really is really close to real red. Okay, this one turned out really cute, and this is the one I was going to tell you. Those are these little white loose snowflakes. They are kind of a plasticky, kind of a resin. They aren't really dimensional, so I don't think they're going to cause any problems with sending it through the mail. These little guys I cut out from the Reindeer Fun dies, and it was just a piece of scrap, kind of a not a glitter paper, but sort of just has like a shimmer on it. And I don't even know. It's probably Hobby Lobby. I don't even know. It was just a piece of scrap that I had laying in my scrap box, and the color worked, so I picked it up. And then this is using that Forever Plaid um, embossing folder from Stampin' Up. So really fun, just a couple of circles. Love the way that came out. That's a great one to use if you only have a couple of papers, but you really want to let them shine. This one I need your help on. So I wasn't quite sure what to do, and I'm not 100% in love with this card. I love this part right here. This part right here, I love the way that came out. This right here, I didn't know what to do with it. I used To You and Yours, and that is actually from the Unbounded Love stamp set. It's right there. I just tried to find something that would fit in that little block. Originally, I thought I was going to cut out like some of these little bells and put the bells in there, but they didn't look quite right. So if anyone has any ideas on what to do with this card, it is card number 7. What to do with card number 7, leave me a comment down below, because I think I may fix this card, do something different with it, because it's not jiving with me. So there's that. Okay, so here's card number 8. Very simple. I love this design. Works with a great amount of papers, especially double-sided papers, because they're usually designed to go together. Very simple cuts. The circles, I love it. This is using some of that frayed ribbon, which I just love the texture it gives. Just turn it, and it's very easy to work with, so I love that. Then I love these 2 little deers. I used them there. I tried not to use them too much because I could end up putting them on every single card because I love them so much. Same die cut as this one, and then use the Christmas is Better Together sentiment with the candy apple ink. And then the background again is I use that background quite a bit on that embossing folder. I think it just adds a little something, just a little extra look. Then I love this one, and that's the other deer that's I used on card number 3. And this Merry Christmas is from, I believe, yes, it's from the Reindeer Fun stamp set. Love the way that this came out too. Then I thought this was such a neat design. I love this sketch. And you can use it with so many little scraps that you have left over, because, I mean, the biggest piece is the one that's underneath the Merry Christmas. All the rest of these are very thin, just go around to white. There's another thin one here. And then I put another one of the deer, colored it the same way I colored the card on number 1. So there's that one. Then this one, I love this design as well. It was really fun. This little holly and berries is also from the Reindeer Fun die set. So I'm really enjoying how these die sets are more than just what cuts out the stamps, because there's no stamps that are like this. It's just the dies. And for this one, so there's that die and then the berries that go on it. So for this one, I actually did cut it out of the actual paper, and I love the way it came out. So this is the Garden Green and Real Red. Really pretty. And I just used, it's the same stamp as this one, which was an old Close to My Heart stamp. And this time I did it in the Tuxedo Black. Then this one, same stamp set. I love these offset circles. Very actual simple card, quick to put together. I love this design. I'm going to use this design some more. Okay, so for this card, I did some experimentation. I read you can use these guys to stamp with. So what I did was I took the stamp from Reindeer Fun, this one right here, and I colored the stamp in. So I used Garden Green for all the tree limbs. I used Early Espresso for the trunk and the base. And then I used Daffodil Delight for the little star on the top. So you color the stamp and then on your stamp block, then you huff on it. So you breathe on it to get your breath to create some moisture. Then you stamp it. I think it turned out great. I love how it's kind of modeled. I don't think it would work well for sentiments because I want my sentiments to be very crisp, but for this, I think it worked out great. So I did have to color in the star a little bit because it was just a little bit too modeled, but that was really easy because these pens have a brush tip, which is very, very fine. And then they have a point, let me see, a 0.5 bullet tip, which truthfully, I don't use it as much as I use the brush tip. I'm an old Copic girl, so brush tips, I've been using brush tips for years and I just love them. And then this is that ribbon that I told you I took from my Hobby Lobby old, what we call it, clearance rack ribbon. So that's how that one turned out. Just lay that right there. And then this is the very last card. This is card number 15. And just so you know, my designer paper here, I only use 6 sheets of paper total, 6 by 6 pieces of paper total. The real red, I used about 1.5 sheets of 8.5 by 11. The Granny Apple Green, which is this lighter green, I used about a sheet, roughly. And then the Garden Green, I didn't use a whole lot because I used it for this circle and I used it for the backgrounds of these squares. So probably, and I used it for the background here. So maybe a third of a sheet of 8.5 by 11. And then I used probably 3, maybe 4 sheets of 12 by 12 white cardstock, just basic white cardstock, and then card bases, of course. But anyway, this one I think turned out really pretty. Again, this is a great way to use up some little scraps that you may have laying around. I used this little guy because I thought it looked really pretty with that red behind. And the red behind was actually, I had to cut that from one additional piece of 6 by 6 because it was not something that was in the sketch. Whoops, I'm tearing things apart here. Let me see what was in the sketch to use. So just to give you an idea, this is what the sketch looked like, and this is what I ended up with. So I changed it up a little bit. I did cut just the white, so it was going to be just like the sketch. And then I was like, wow, it needs a little something else. And I didn't want to use just solid, so I went and cut a circle out of the designer series paper from the Take a Bow. And then these little guys I colored with Lemon Lime Twist, and then went over the little bellies with the Daffodil Delight, and then of course Real Red for the bow. Red bows are always my favorite. So with that, this is all the cards that I made for Kendra's Card Challenge number 16, and as my share for the Paper Divas Christmas card YouTube hop. So please do go show some love to the other girls on my team. Wonderful artists. I love their hearts. They really do a wonderful job, and I can't wait to see what they've created. So again, I will leave that playlist down below. Again, thank you to everyone who helped me reach 1,000 subscribers. It's just so wonderful, and I'm so excited. And now I've got to think of what's my next goal. So I'll be thinking on that. If anyone has ideas down below, it doesn't necessarily need to be about my channel, just some sort of a goal, crafty-wise, I set that we can keep track of and have accountability here on the channel. And I hope you had a great time with everything. And if you make these cards, if you use Kendra's Card Challenge, leave a link down below. If you have a video, if you have a blog post, whatever, leave a link down below because I'd love to see what you've made with this card challenge, or if you've used any of these products in another way, leave that down below as well. And definitely card number 7, help me make this card better. And I know it can be better because it's a great design. I'm just blocked on what to do with it. So with that, I will let you go. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up so I know that. And if you want to leave me a comment, that's awesome as well. I respond to every single comment. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.